Okay, our chairman is not here, so I'm vice chairman and will take over for the evening. Our chairman is going to join us. We can see him there. He's joining us, but we can't hear him yet. So we're working on that. And now we can hear him. Are you there, Tom? Oh, that was me, wasn't it?
He needs to take his off the speaker.
Yeah.
Right. Mr. Price, are you on speaker? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
You're not muted.
Maybe he's muted us.
Well, Tommy, if you can hear me, we're going to go ahead and get started. And I want to call this meeting of the Anderson School Board work session to order. I want to thank everybody for being here. We look forward to presentations from our schools, and we love to hear the information. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's all stand for, no, we don't do that yet. So I'll call on Westside High School. Court?
So I can't do anything.
If you scoot the box over, there's a little full screen option right behind the camera box.
I'm sorry, where are you?
Right here, see the camera box, scoot it over? Nope, down camera box. Yep, scoot that whole thing over. And the full screen is right behind it.
I need a Canva user.
Just, if you minimize this camera, see the little minus at the top of the camera part? Yeah.
You're talking, you can
Yes.
I can't see that.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
I can't see that.
To the left, just a little left. Oh, that'll work too. And then it's right there, the second icon. There. Down.
Question mark?
Right there.
Actually, let me go in there and hide that for you. Get it out of your way.
Members of the board, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Dr. Kelly told me I only had 20 minutes. I think that's why she put me first, but they cut in like 3 or 4 minutes to cut into it already. But I do thank the board for the opportunity. Anytime I get a chance to come and talk about what we do in the school, I think it's a good thing. So I go through it pretty fast because we're doing a lot. We just had a protocol meeting last week with members of this office, the instructional staff. So we really just reviewed this information. So I think this is a good time to come in and sit down and talk about this. Let's go to the next slide.
Mr. Baker, are you gonna drive back there?
I thought you guys were driving. I'm sorry.
It's okay, can you do it back there?
It's going to be easier for you to do it
Okay.
because you can go back and forth with it. I'm sorry.
y'all can see, I cannot drive.
I got you, my new job.
But the first thing, just the agenda, I kind of did the areas, because one of the reasons, like why we're here is because of the school report call, so I want to go over that, review the continuous improvement plan goals, talk about support, professional development activities, and some of our projections our first semester. We have any time, of course, we're taking it, I have a few closing comments to be able to take any questions. Hey, this is just a part of our school report called our accountability areas of academic achievement. That's our algebra and English from this is last year's scores. Because we worked really hard last year, we had a lot of ground to gain and we fell just short. And I wanted to show this slide. So we increased in academic achievement. This is of course from the year before. Preparing for success, that's our history and biology. We increased there. Our MLP learners, we decreased in that area. We're still working to kind of get that one right. Our school climate progress, we increased in that area. Graduation rate, we increased. College and career readiness, we increased. And a new area was high school student success. That's our 9th and 10th grades who have to be on track. In both of those areas currently are really trending really high. And what that kind of means to us is 9th and 10th grade, if they're on track in 9th and 10th grade, by the time they get to 11th and 12th grade, that really should be our graduation rate. And I think right now it's like 87 to 88% between our 9th and 10th grade. This is performance goal 1. Just by the end of the 24-25 school year, we'll have an increase in the percentage of the 9GR24 cohort, students with 3 or few absences from 67% to 75%, and to reduce the number of students with failing grades from 32% to 25%. And we've had, even at the district level, we've had a big focus on attendance this year, just trying, because we kind of feel like the West Side, if the students come to school, we have a chance to teach them. So, again, we've had a good emphasis from the district level on ways that we can increase our attendance. And student attendance, we do have an attendance committee. I'm very proud that we established that last year. But we have a group that meets monthly. So that's it's made up of administrators, guidance counselors, and teachers, and my data clerk. And can we get on one of these that's gonna mess up the drive? Okay. Maybe just attendance meeting agendas. And again, I'm not gonna go through this, but you can kind of see that we actually do have the meetings, we had the agendas, and from this, now we're doing incentives. As a matter of fact, we just turned in a plan to the superintendent to how we can increase our incentives and give students an opportunity to be rewarded for coming to school. You know, so again, we had some emphasis on trying to help kids get to school, but then I thought we were missing kids that fundamentally do what we want them to do every day, so just trying to provide some incentives for them. Last year, our culminating activity was we gave away 2 PS5, which that was a big incentive for our kids. So along the way, we do small things like cookies, chips, airheads, but we'll do another big incentive this year, just because we think attendance is a lifelong skill. Okay, let's go to the next. Performance goals, we still say performance goals. 2 is based on our data protocol meetings that we just had, because we want to increase the number percentage of students scoring A's, B's, and C's with the end of course test, specifically Algebra 1 and U.S. history. Let's pick on the west side. You can kind of see right here, we're doing to focus on those goals. We are doing observations, departmental meetings, and our PLC. We've had a real strong emphasis on our professional learning community this year, and it has increased. Can we hit on just fall professional development? just want you to see that those are the topics we covered this year. And those are our month by month activities that we're doing, and all of that feeds into just increasing student achievement. You can kind of see them there. I do want to quickly talk about our partnership with SRAB. Again, the district stepped in and helped us with that. That's our professional development. They come once a month to work with our teachers. One of the areas that we're really working on is math. So we have a math consultant that comes in monthly to work with our teachers. And we kind of changed up a little bit the first semester, where she's going to work directly with the teachers in our accountability areas and really provide for one-on-one assistance with them. Professional development activities that support goals 1 and 2. We do have, through our SRAB, we have a faculty book study, playbook on teacher clarity. So our teachers, our math and our ELA teachers kind of split up into 2 last year, but this year we have 1 playbook. So the teachers, SRAB comes in once a month to meet with our teachers that they provide professional development. But we have a core team, what we call our BLA, a core group of probably about 12 teachers. They get intense training. Then after that, they push out to the bigger group. So we have 2 days of PD back to back. So we have 1 day with the BLA group, then we have another day with our entire faculty. We run those through our team meetings and our PLCs every block. Then we also have an administrative book study, Leadership 101 by John Maxwell, where the consultants come in and work directly with my administrative team on ways that we can increase student achievement relative to observations. I kind of have a new team this year. I brought in 3 new members of my team, so just bringing my team together so everybody understands the goals that we're working towards this year. Then I talked about the school level PLCs, that we really strengthen those. I'm gonna have some really good discussions this year, and of course we're sending teachers to professional conferences and workshops. Performance goal 3 is our graduation rate. Last year our graduation rate was the highest that it had been. Well, I think district-wide, especially my time at the West Side. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about our focus areas. One of those is the cohort tracking. Like every group, y'all probably know this, but every group is a cohort, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So each administrator is assigned to a cohort. So I have 9th grade administrator, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. And their job is to track the kids. So we track them through cover systems. Like we'll know, I think right now we have, I think like 44% of my senior class currently have already met all the graduation requirements. So we know that because we track them. Then we have some that they're gonna push right to the end. And we have another group that they're gonna be fine. They're just taking the class for this semester. So like they're taking English 4.
We're gonna go in here. I don't know
It
how to
sounds
fix
like
that.
But we do have 468 on track. That's in the total cohort. Then we have some that are off track that we're working with. And some of them, they just have to double up and take a couple courses. Like they might have to take 2 Englishes this time. So again, just make sure we really track those areas. And again, it's important, if we just track the senior group, we're gonna be in trouble every year. So again, I think going back to tracking the freshmen and sophomores, and that number, like I said, right now is trending 88%. So we're hoping in a couple of years, our graduation rate should mirror what we're doing in the cohort tracking. And then we also have, some of the things we did different this year. We had a very successful football season this year. For the last couple of years, just sports in general, we really on the winning part. So what we did this year, we thought we would test the student athletes by themselves. So we brought Coach Lane in, baseball coach, Coach Weathers, our track coach, Coach Hunt, and our AD, Coach West, and we just tested them because we kind of felt like that coach, well, first of all, we met with the coaches, even Coach Lane. He said, like for instance, Trip Dukes, he should score better than that because he knows everything we're doing. He's a smart kid, but sometimes our students don't understand the impact that it has for the school. So we brought the athletes in to test them by themselves, we had a lot of success with that, and we were even able to track how many of them had success, and the ones that didn't have success, we retest them in the spring, in March. But that's something new that we're doing. We also, something new with cohort tracking and the artifacts and data is the high priority claimants. So we have, I think we had like over 50 seniors who need a high priority claim, meaning that they will need some intense work from us to help them. But I think the thing we did different this year, we brought the parents in from day one. Like before school started, the parents had to sign, agree to the contract, that they were gonna help their students. And now we're in the process of tracking those students to see, how well they perform first semester. The other thing on the weekly grade report, one of the things, our school-wide parent communication forum, currently we have 1,004, okay, that's great. So that's how many parents we contacted this year. And what we say contact, it has to be a two-way communication. I have to email you, you email me back. I call you, you actually answer the phone, you talk back to me. So again, having that number, because again, we think if we contact the parents, if the kids come to school, we stand a better chance of having success. But I'm pleased with that number right now, and that is continue to grow. And it's really probably higher than that because I've talked to a lot of parents, but I'm not putting it in the form like I should. So again, I think we have a lot of informal conversations with parents too, where they're giving us feedback. These again, just the activities support goal 3. Our guidance department, we have 2 CDS and our testing coordinator gives information on career paths, field trips, and inviting speakers in. And all of that ties into just the graduates and trying to make sure we graduate kids and with them having some type of plan at graduation. Progress made towards the goal. Just kind of want to give a brief synopsis of where we are right now. And this kind of goes back to the first slide of how we did last year. Currently, first we ran a report card simulator this year. So in running a report card simulator, you input the data and it kind of tells you exactly where you are right now. So it's again, like superintendent told us, like we're at halftime. So we got to halftime, now it's time for us to make adjustments. The things that are going well, we'll continue those. The things that we need to tweak, hopefully we're gonna be smart enough with the principal to tweak whatever's not going good, just to make some changes. But we all up in math. From these numbers won't mean anything right now, but as you continue to study our data, you'll understand that it's like we're at 9.60, and that increased to 9.83. So we even feel better about second semester because a lot of things we front load the first semester, so we know we have more kids taking. Sometimes we're gonna end up having more honors classes the second semester than the first semester because we kind of felt like that's what we're gonna need out of the book. Currently we have 44% of our graduating cohort is college and career ready. So you got to be college ready or career ready, and that number is 44%. It's almost passed out, and she's like, that's too low. But really what's happened, we don't have all the data inputted yet, so we think it's probably about 54%. But once all that data gets inputted, and I'm saying data, we have kids that are taking classes at AIT right now, and they completed those classes, so that means they're college and career ready. So that's why we know that number's gonna go up. And we also have an internship program through our special education students. If they get some real unique opportunities at AIT, we're very excited about that, and they make some really good gains there. I talked about our student progress. Yeah, we're about 88% right now, and our graduation rate is trending. And just talking about the particular subjects like U.S. history, this semester we'll have 3 honors classes as opposed to 2 honors classes. So the more kids you test that are really capable, that's gonna drive those numbers up. And then biology as well. The biology scores weren't where we wanted them to be, but they did make an increase, but we'll have another section of honors taking on biology this semester as well, and we also, again, increased our observation, just to support teachers, not as a, I'm coming to get you, but just as a support on what we can do to help them. I went kind of fast, is my time up? Probably.
You're good. Right on.
And probably the other thing I would say is, do they have, my people, do they have access to this?
And y'all have participation, this is just the continuous improvement plan.
But like, it's a lot of work that we put into this, like a whole lot of work, so it's really hard, I was talking this on, how can I condense all the things we've done into 20 minutes? So anytime you want to sit down and just talk to me about it, talk to my instructional team, we welcome it, because again, we work really hard and we're doing a lot of good things. It was just hard to get it all in this 20-minute time frame.
And I will reiterate that as well. Mr. Roberts and Miss Arnold and that team, they have worked tirelessly and intentionally to look at every kid, look at every child, and support every teacher. Because they have teachers that are veterans, and then they have teachers that are brand new. And so they are working tirelessly. So I just want to thank you publicly. I appreciate you both. I thank you for what you're doing. I'm so proud of Westside.
Well, we also appreciate the support from your office and also from the board. You know, we cannot be successful unless we have support of the superintendent, her office, and support of the school board. So we certainly appreciate
Yeah, I did want to say, I remember the last time you came in, and this time, and it seems like you're into the numbers, you're into the things that can improve, and I've noticed just great gains from you as a leadership and a leadership team. So I want to congratulate you on that, and I know you're headed in the right direction, and it shows.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
How does your turnover rate look with your teachers, Corey?
Really, you know, the more you support them, the more
There you go.
they stay. So I think we did some things last year. I had some teacher talks, and we doing those again, just to talk with teachers. So our turnover rate was not as significant as it was the year before. And this time, we don't anticipate that it, you know, that's gonna be really high. One of the areas like our U.S. history, that's a low turnover area for us. So the more you can keep teachers together,
Yes.
the better, you got a better chance with. And if you can keep them in the same subject for a couple of years, where they really get versed in it, and just making sure we provide the PD that they need. We had a question like about the 90-minute block, where you have some teachers who've been teaching 20 years now, understand the 90-minute block, but they might still need some refreshers on it. You cannot stay on the warm up for 30 minutes. You really have to move the students. So, but again, when you have a teacher with 20 years experience, and then you have them down here with 1, 2, or 3 years experience, just trying to make sure everybody understands the 90-minute block, because if you have not taught 90 minutes, it's a long time. You know, and if you're not really prepared as far as your planning, you can think you're planning for 90 minutes, you really planning for 45 minutes. And that's what we should, in West Side, we really try to maximize the school day. You know, we can get everything in during the school day. That allows our kids to work and play sports and do all those extracurriculars that they like to do.
I like the thing that you said about getting the incentives of children with the games, and I think in one of the games that you was talking about that you was giving, I may have somebody that would like to donate a few games,
Yes, ma'am.
and that'll help them to come and stay and do the right thing. 'Cause I talked to one of your students Monday at the game, and we had a good talk.
Good.
Yeah, so
Hope you
we-
roughed them up good.
Oh yeah, I got him right. I got him right.
I need all the help I can get.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think just, again, the West Side, it's a community that really has come in and support each other, so I certainly appreciate that.
Any other questions for Mr. Roberts?
Congratulations on the increase in the graduation rate. It's big. You got a good data cruncher next to you right there.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Seymour for Centerville. I feel like I want to put that little 3-minute clock up.
No wonder it is snowing.
I do want to start by just saying Happy Board Appreciation Month. Thank you all for truly taking your time to serve our community and to serve our students. We do appreciate it so very much. Hey, we're here on these circumstances and having to present this, but we do have a lot of great things going on in our building, and we're very prepared to talk about that and excited to talk about that as well. And I'm going to introduce myself. You all know I'm Jennifer Seymour. I'm the principal at Centerville. This is Sheila Bryant. She is our instructional facilitator and also our Title I coordinator. And this is Holly Bearden. She is our reading coach. This is her first year with us, and she is doing phenomenal things in our building, so we are very grateful to have her. So throughout this presentation, okay, we will talk about the overview of our data, the state process, our improvement plan, and how everything that we are doing really does align with Dr. Kelly's vision and her instructional plan for our district. So this is an overview of the school report card last year. This is not this year. I had braced myself at the end of last year. Really, I was hoping we were going to be able to keep our average, but I was bracing myself in the event it did come back to below average. And I'll talk a little bit later about the circumstances for that, but we were able to keep our average for academic achievement. Multilingual learners' progress went to below average. It was average, and it went to below average. Student progress, unsatisfactory, and the school climate was good. Our multilingual learner progress does fall into the student progress as well, so they do have an impact on that area.
The government talking about doing English. Most of those children can speak English.
Okay, so an overview of the state process. Because we have been designated as an underperforming school, we are engaged in the continuous improvement process that is outlined by the state. And there are 6 phases of that: to diagnose the needs based on the data, which we have done, to set our goals, to review and revise the goals, which we, even to this day, are constantly looking at what do we need to do in regards to this, the implementation of all the things that we have in place, and to monitor and revise however we need to. I do want to give a little bit of background information, just kind of let you all know who we are. This is my 8th year being principal at Centerville. I have loved every minute of it. It is a wonderful school. I love the faculty. I love the students who come through there. And this is our 6th year of being a Title I elementary school. Centerville has changed. It has changed a lot over the years. We have approximately, last year we had right at 598 students. We are very transient. Students are constantly coming in, constantly leaving. They may come from out of country, it can come from out of state. They'll leave and come back often, so it's really a revolving door with them coming in and out. Our population pulls from the inner city of Anderson. We have had a big increase of MLL students in our building right now. We're very close to 20% of our population being ML. And that's been a learning experience for us. It really has been, and we're working hard on that right now. We also, out of our faculty, last year, 18 out of 28 of our classroom teachers had less than 5 years of experience. That is major. With that comes a lot of professional developments that you do have to do with your teachers. Thankfully, this year, we have 13 out of 28 that have less than 5 years experience. I was so grateful for the staff that I was able to bring on this year. We brought in a lot of amazing teachers that have experience. Some came from out of state, some coming back into teaching after staying home with their children, so we are very thankful to have them in our building. Many of our retired teachers do come back to our school. They serve as our interventionists, which have been a major help for our students, especially our lower performing students. This staff, they're paid for through Title I funds, all except for one. The district did allocate one per school, so all of our other interventionists are paid for through Title I. We do have 2 certified interventionists for math, 3 certified interventionists for ELA, one uncertified interventionist for ELA, and I just brought on a certified MLL interventionist to help with that population. I'm so grateful for that. I was able to talk my retired reading interventionist into coming back and finishing up the year for us. So I know that will definitely help in that one category as well. We have a wonderful school atmosphere. I did not know many of my staff are going to be here tonight, so thank you so much for your support. We truly are a family. We do work with each other. They know that they can come to me for anything. There's not anything that as a family that we cannot work through together. Okay. So our first goal is to increase achievement in math and ELA in grades kindergarten through 5th grade according to math assessment by 25%. That's going from the 37th to the 62nd in math and then 39th to the 64th in ELA. And currently, based off of winter math, we had gone from, in reading, 38% to 42nd%. And then in math, we went from the 38th to the 43rd%. So the students are making progress, which we are very thankful for that. Our second goal is we will increase our multilingual learners' progress to a good rating. I do want to talk about this for just 1 minute. Last year, and this is no fault of anything because you can't ever gauge when you're going to have new incomers coming in with your ML population. Last year, we had a large increase and our MLL teacher was with us part-time last year. So we did not have a full-time MLL teacher at that point in time. This year, she is back with us full-time due to the increase that we have had. So we know that that will definitely be beneficial and bringing the interventionist in on top of that as well. And this is Dr. Kelly's instructional design. It's based off of teacher clarity and success criteria, high impact instruction, analysis of student performance, action steps, and data protocol. And we use this as our overarching goals, really, because we wanted to show that everything that we are doing to support our staff and our students do align with every single pillar in this instructional design.
So the first component of the overall design is the teacher clarity and success criteria. And like Ms. Seymour said, we use this when we were looking at the goals and identifying exactly which areas Centerville needed to improve on. And the ultimate goal is teacher efficacy, right? We want teachers who are confident in their abilities to deliver instruction to their students and ultimately get them successful. And so, like she said, we do have a new staff. So one thing that we've done with the strategies is the standard mastering checklist for math and ELA, and that is just ensuring that our teachers and our students are aware of the standards they have to master throughout the school year for their academic grade level. And we use the item analysis with our math and ELA assessments, and that allows our teachers to really go in and look at if, this many of my kids miss this standard, I can reteach this in my tier 1 core instruction. But if I only had, 20% miss it, then I'm gonna pull them for a skill-based small group in tier 2 instruction and really help those kids meet that standard. And it kind of ties right in with our rigorous spiral reviews. Our teachers start at the beginning of the year, and whenever they haven't started to teach, they start using it as a spiral review every week. And so that way, even though they have moved on in content, it's still constantly going back to all those standards that they've learned, so that way we don't continue to grow gaps in our students. And we've also implemented the backward design, and this has been extremely helpful. It kind of gives us the end goal in mind. They're able to look at the questions, the standards, exactly how the questions are asked, and so that way they can just be aware and be intentional about their instruction throughout the unit and know that they're asking those test-like questions to prepare their students for the assessment.
And one of the other things we did for this area also was to bring in the MLP specialist for the district to really help our teachers understand what access testing is, how these students are tested, what they need to be working on in the classroom with them. It was a 3-part PD that she did with our staff, and it was phenomenal. She gave great strategies that they could use, and really the strategies that she gave to use are really best practices for our students who perform in the lower 20% as well. So the teachers gained a lot from those trainings. We will continue to work on that and build more efficacy in that area as well.
The second column leads us into the high impact instruction. And recently, our state has really done a big shift in how we teach reading, which in itself has really lended its way to the high impact instruction with the letters training for all K-3 teachers. And then next school year, we're looking into 4th and 5th also joining that crew, so that way they can really learn the same strategies and help those kids that are lower in their classroom that may still need help on those foundational skills. And so we actually have a new curriculum, HMH. I was very lucky to actually teach this in the classroom, so I feel like I've been able to really jump in and help the teachers understand how the curriculum works, show them, things that you can tweak or add in, and, just really help hold their hand throughout the process, because they are learning a lot of new right now with new standards and a new curriculum, and then letters training on top of that. So it goes all back into that standards mastery, making sure that we are teaching the state standards and that we are tracking exactly which students are proficient in the standards, which students are not proficient, and really looking at it student by student to make sure that we're not missing any kids that are going to fall between the cracks, because we don't want that to happen. And so we actually utilize a lot of our Dreambox. It's our math kind of learning platform, but it's a great tool. It breaks down all the standards from kindergarten. Kids start this right when they go into kindergarten. They do about 5 to 10 lessons a week, and it will give them a assessment at the beginning of every year, and it will show exactly which standards they're missing from previous grades, or even which standards they've mastered. And so the teachers are able to really use that and drive their small group instruction, and we have seen great benefits with that as well. And then we also have Dibbles and Amplify, and they're kind of partners. So Dibbles is more like our benchmark assessment. It really gives us a skill-based assessment of the kids. So we're able to see if they're lacking oral reading fluency, comprehension, decoding, phonemic awareness, and we're able to use that data to then form our tier 3 interventions based on the student's lowest strength. And so we've actually found a lot of our older kids in the upper elementary that their lowest strength is decoding. And so we can't get them to comprehend if they can't decode the words. So that's been extremely beneficial as well. And then Amplify is the learning platform that goes with Dibbles. And again, they do a monthly skill scan, and in that monthly skill scan, it will tell you exactly what the kid is above level, on level, below level. And so it's really that extra piece of data for the teachers to use to get a vision of the whole child.
I want to piggyback on what she said. We have been very intentional since we are blessed with the interventionists that we do have. We have been very intentional looking at the data of what specifically those students are receiving when they do go to intervention. Our MLL interventionists, when the students do go through access testing, at that point in time, our original ML teacher is taken out of the program because she tests those students individually. So that is a lot of instructional time that those students are not receiving small group instruction. So with us bringing on the MLL interventionists, we are able to continue to pull those students in small groups, as well as when Holly finishes her access testing, then she and the interventionist can double dip those kids, plus them also being served in their classroom as well. So really it'll be a triple hit for those students. We also have, I think it's approximately 6 teachers that have signed up to tutor some of our MLL students. They do it either before school or after school, depending on the parent schedule and what works best for them.
Okay, and the next one is analysis of student performance. In this one, we have you're going to hear some of the things mentioned in multiple columns because they do overlap and they do fit there. But the standards mastery for ELA and math, we do utilize a spreadsheet, which we have found very beneficial with teachers. We all come together for grade level planning, and they put all the data from an assessment into the spreadsheet. It's based on the item analysis. So if it's green, that means the student got it correct. If it's red, they missed it. And then there's partial credit, so sometimes it's yellow. So they'll get some, especially if it deals with math or there's multiple questions in that one area. Teachers look at that and they talk about it as a grade, they talk about it with us, and they also reflect on what's happening in their classrooms. Because if they see that one column is pretty much all red, then we look at it for multiple reasons. One, is it a tier one instruction issue, something that we need to go back to the whole class and work on? Did the standards align? Were the children asked in the way that we were taught to teach the standards? Do we need to take that question out? We also need to look at it to see, these are great ways to form groups. Do I need to reteach my whole class this skill? Or do I need to do small groups and bring my children into groups and teach them based on this data? So it has been very beneficial, just listening to the conversations with the teachers. They're having great, deep, rich conversations, which are really leading to helping their children. We also do backward planning in math and ELA. So we are now looking at the unit assessments, the end of the unit assessment, to see how will the children be tested, what type of questions, what level questions, how do we need to prepare our children for success. We're not teaching the test. We just want to give them the right skills that they need and making sure we're asking the higher order questions for them. We also do, as Ms. Bearden mentioned earlier, the rigorous spiral reviews. We have those that happen weekly. That way we don't leave gaps, that we're not leaving these children, that they keep coming back to it so it's fresh in their minds. We have the MLL interventionist, as Ms. Seymour has talked about, and we are tracking our student AVT, which is the added value target that aligns with the SC Ready test. And I do have to say that we're very pleased because we've already seen so many of our children that are meeting that goal already at mid-year. So that is very good. We are very proud of our teachers for the hard work and our students for their hard work, but we're not giving up there. Although they've met that goal, we're going to be pushing them and pushing them and pushing them and see even more success. So we're very thrilled about that. The next one we're going to talk about are the action steps. This one really comes into play with a lot of what we do as coaches and as the leadership team does observations in the classrooms. So we go into classrooms, we complete observations, we give the teachers feedback on those observations through email or one-on-one conferencing face-to-face with teachers. We also really do a dive into the rubric, and we do tell our teachers, you're not teaching just from a rubric. It's just good teaching. I mean, the rubric outlines what good teaching is with high student engagement, making sure the students are thinking and problem solving, and that we really are teaching the best that we can for our students. Based on what we're seeing in observations, based on teacher feedback, what they come and ask us about also, we're now, Ms. Beard and I are offering mini PD sessions after school, which we're able to do that through Title I, and it's optional for teachers, but right now we have 6 sessions set up. We just did our first one last week, and it was wonderful. It was on student engagement, and we did look at the 4.0 rubric in that. So we had a great turnout. The teachers seemed to really enjoy it. We really enjoyed working with teachers too, and that would be good. Again, the rigorous spiral reviews. We're using the data to form our small group instruction, which is imperative that we pull small groups for reading and math so we can give these children exactly what they need. To increase the teacher's ability to meet the learning needs of our ML students, that was what Ms. Seymour was talking about with Allie Metters coming in. She is the specialist for the district, and it was phenomenal, hands down phenomenal. It really was eye-opening to see the things that we can do hands-on with our children, the best ways to teach them, the best strategies to use, and knowing not only does it work for our MLL population, it does work for our lowest 20%. Again, it's really good teaching that works for all. And then also, we are working with our resource teachers on aligning instruction that's happening in the resource classroom with instruction that's happening in the actual classroom for the children. We don't want there to be big gaps. Children hear this in the classroom, they go to resource and hear something totally different. So we have really worked with resource teachers to plan, for them to look at teachers' lesson plans and to find ways that they can link their curriculum and what the students are learning to what the classroom teacher is teaching us.
It's not on here, but one of the things that we really have done this year for our MTSS meetings is to really have the MLL teachers in there. We also have all of our interventionists in there as well, so we can all come together as a whole and talk about those students and what we can do to make sure that they are successful. The next pillar is data protocol meetings. We've been doing this with Dr. Kelly. I know it says a fall, mid-year, and an end of the year, but we have been meeting once a month, and she's been phenomenal. You have been a huge support in that for us really to look at whether it's teachers, students, how are we progressing, what do we need to specifically look at. So we do that continuously. We'll have one tomorrow, as a matter of fact, but we do that continuously just to look at the data and where we are and where we can continue to grow. One other area that we really have been focusing on at our school is the community engagement. we have a lot of parents who want to help their children, but they just truly don't know how to. So we've had a lot of parent nights, bringing them in, really looking at the standards. The first one was a school-wide where everybody came in. Right now, we have scheduled out grade level parent toolbox sessions. Some may be during the daytime, in the morning, some are at lunchtime, and some in the evening, just depending on what those parents needed per grade level to bring them in. One of our big goals this year was to start a mentoring program at our school because we have a lot of students that don't have support. They just don't have a parent or someone there to say, you can do this, you've got that, just to be there for them and to support them. Our goal is to have 24. Right now, we're at 12 mentors right now, so we're very blessed for that. We have really upped our social media engagement because we know that's the way that the majority of parents spend their time looking at seeing the things that are going on. We just finished One Book, One School STEM night. We had a great turnout for that. The students were engaged. They had a wonderful time. And we've really been working hard with our PTO and SIC meetings to meet the needs of our parents. We've looked at various times just to try to get as many stakeholders in as we possibly can.
Excuse me, what was the name of the book? Did it tell?
8
Okay.
class pets divided by a cat, times a dog equals chaos. It is a very long title, but the kids, they
The
really
kids
enjoyed
loved
it,
it.
yes.
And they had activities on throughout the week.
Oh.
So in closing, every setback is an invitation to grow, evolve, and come back better. This was a setback for us. It's very disappointing to see that, but we know the areas that we need to work on and need to improve, and we'll come back even better in April and May this year.
Well, I appreciate all you've done, and I know through the monthly meetings that the intentionality that each of you and you in the audience as well, and teachers, thank you. I know how hard you're working, and I know I don't get to come in your classroom every day, but I want you to know how much I appreciate you. You're doing a great job.
They do a fabulous job, and I do make sure they know that, and I tell them that all the time. I know the test scores come back as below average, but you can come in our building any point in time, see what's going on. The teachers work tirelessly all the time to make sure our students are successful.
Do y'all have any questions for?
Not at this time.
The ones that you said that you had parents to come in, I'd love to come into one of those math sessions, if it's in the evening or
Yes,
after.
ma'am.
I'd love to come in
Okay,
and
we
see.
will
I can get the answer.
She doesn't necessarily like all the strategies we have to teach. Yes, yes. Thank you, appreciate it so much.
Thank you for coming. New Prospect Elementary, Laura Shady.
Okay.
Glad to have y'all.
Is that correct? Okay. Gotta make sure I have this. Laura Shady, I'm here I really appreciate this opportunity. First off, Superintendent and members of the board, just thank you for this opportunity to come and talk with you about the continuous improvement plan for New Prospect. This plan has definitely been a true labor of the mind and the heart. As we've been reflecting about our commitment to our students and just fostering that culture of excellence and that equality and just equity and just engaging all of our students in every way. So thank you. I do want to say thank you, as this is my first experience with a continuous improvement plan. I want to thank Ms. Robin Gay. I want to thank Dr. Kelly. I want to thank Ms. Jennifer Belford. I want to thank Corey Roberts, who let me call him. And Jennifer Seymour, thank you so much. My teachers also, thank you guys, and thank you for being here tonight. It truly has been a true labor of love, and our teachers and everyone at New Prospect feel that way. I want to move into introductions of my team. This is Ms. Allison Guthrie, my AP, and this is Ms. Jessica Brown, my reading coach. Unfortunately, my IF is at home with the flu, so she couldn't join us tonight. But these ladies are my right hands. They are always with me. So we're going to go into sharing our story and then do the data overview, and then we'll step into our continuous improvement plan.
At New Prospect, we're more than just a Title I school in Anderson District 5. We're a community that is a family
in a place where learning and growth happen every single day. Serving our students from 4K to 5th grade, we embrace the rich diversity of our student population, knowing that each child brings unique strengths and perspectives that make our school vibrant and special. Our mission is simple, yet profound: to help every student develop the world-class skills and characteristics that are outlined in the profile of the South Carolina graduate. We do this by offering a well-balanced curriculum paired with enriching extracurricular activities, giving our students the tools and opportunities they need to build a strong foundation for their future. But what truly sets New Prospect apart is our people. Our administrators and our teachers are deeply committed to the success of each child, working tirelessly to provide intervention, acceleration, enrichment, and explicit instruction tailored to individual needs. Backed by data-informed practices and ongoing professional development, our faculty continuously strives to refine their craft, ensuring our students are not just learning, but they're thriving. When you walk through the halls of New Prospect, you're going to see more than just what's in our classroom. You're going to see a community of lifelong learners and problem solvers that are in the making. You will hear some laughter, curiosity, and determination as students and teachers come together to explore, grow, and succeed. At New Prospect, we're proud of who we are, what we do, and the futures we are shaping. This is a place where every child matters, every teacher inspires, and every moment is a step toward greatness. We are New Prospect.
I'm gonna tell you, she threw that in because I am a Notre Dame fan, and unfortunately, they lost last night, but we are indeed. Thank you. As we look at our data, no, okay. Okay. As we look at our school report card data, just an overview, you can see our academic achievement was adjusted to a 14.38 out of 40. Our student progress was adjusted to 11.27 out of 40. Those are both in the below average category. Preparing for success was not rated. This was our science test. And while we believed by the state that we would get 10 points if we got the 95% or more tested in that area, that was not the case, and so the state did split that 10 points between academic achievement and student progress. You can see that our MLL population was adjusted from a 5.8, or excuse me, was adjusted to a 5.83 out of 10 from a 6.8. Unfortunately, mid-year, there was a federal policy that if a student who had exited the MLL program was being monitored, they were no longer counting for us. So we lost an entire point there. That hit hard. We also decreased in, however, we were average there. We also decreased slightly in our school climate. This is surveys from parents, teachers, and students. That still remained an average, but just, I know, just as you go in, and you are new to a school or an environment, there is a building of trust period. And that's what we are doing at this time. We have 16 new faculty members. We have 11 brand new teachers to our faculty. And we are loving the fact that our faculty is coming together just fabulously. We are working hard, there's no doubt, and we are really building that environment of collaborative learning for everyone. So that is the overview of our data. And then, as you look through, I know that Ms. Seymour covered this fabulously, but those are the 6 phases of the SIP process, and that's what we are going through and have been for this year.
All right, so across all areas, we are working on these 3 components. 4. Explicit instruction and metacognition skills. We are completing a book study on comprehension connections by Tanny McGregor. And this book dives into strategies that make understanding text achievable for all learners. The focus strategies are schema, inferring, questioning, determining importance, visualizing, synthesizing. Many of our students struggle to understand what they are supposed to do when they're reading strategically. So by helping them make these connections to ideas behind reading, that will push them to think deeper as they are reading texts. Metacognition is modeled in all content areas daily. Students receive direct, explicit instruction on metacognition and vocabulary, and the teachers model through thinking aloud, self-questioning, and self-reflecting. For common assessment, data review using a mastery checklist, we are utilizing consistent data reviews to track student progress and inform targeted interventions. This is our district expectation to ensure that we are looking at each student and each standard that they should be mastering. We're analyzing each module assessment before the module is taught, identifying the skills, strategies, and indicators that are being addressed. And this analysis helps us to streamline our instruction to ensure that we are teaching to the rigor of the standard. After each module assessment, teachers then analyze the results for each student and track their progress towards standards mastery. In building stamina, we are developing students' ability to sustain focus and effort in rigorous academic tasks, preparing them for future challenges. In order to increase stamina for all academic tasks, we have built the students' ability to focus and persist with tasks over time. Teachers are using strategies within the classrooms to assist with building student stamina. Some of the ways that our teachers are working on this would be goal setting, helping students see how to start small and work from there. We're progressing, tracking our progress, and we're celebrating wins with students, even the small ones. Consistent schedules using timers, checklists so that students can stay on track and see their progress, and modeling perseverance, letting them see how we stick through the challenging tasks and work to overcome difficulties. For MTSS process and data conversations, we're working on strengthening our multi-tiered system of supports to ensure that data-driven discussions and personalized support is provided for each and every student. We've scheduled time for Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 instruction each day. Teachers use classwork and assessments to determine differentiation for each student. So that's across the board. In math, we are working on fact fluency, building a strong foundation in basic math operations to support advanced problem solving. Using flashcards, math games, and online tools. For active learning in math, we're working on engaging our students in hands-on collaborative activities that connect math concepts to real-world applications. Really focusing on using manipulatives and interactive tools to build that conceptual knowledge, using real-world problems, project-based learning, group work, so they're having conversations around their math thinking, open-ended questions, and really focusing on number talks using Let's Talk Math. For problem solving, we are working to equip students with strategies to approach and solve complex problems systematically, so thinking through the process, teaching problem solving steps, encouraging multiple strategies, having those open-ended questions and clouds with guided practice and reward. For ELA, we are working on explicit instruction in the 5 pillars of reading, so phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension, which are all the essential elements to literacy success. This is being enhanced through letters training for our kindergarten through 3rd grade teachers. And then active reading and engagement, promoting interactive reading strategies to encourage deep comprehension and critical thinking, so bringing back those comprehension toolkit strategies that we worked on with teachers beginning the year and we're continuing to spiral through shared reading and questioning. And then working on text-based writing and discussion, strengthening students' abilities to analyze texts and articulate their ideas through evidence-based writing and discussion.
Ma'am, can I ask a question? What was the name of that book you said? Comprehensive.
Comprehension Connections. That's
Thank
by
you.
Tanny McGregor. And it's T-A-N-N-Y.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you.
So,
when we're looking at our goals, you can see, on the SIP document that you guys, that everyone has, we have goals set for second, third through fifth, and then third through fifth for ELA and math. But for our first goal, we will decrease the current second grade student scoring does not meet from 32.1 on math to 17 in the area of ELA. We will do this by continuing to strengthen that tier 1 instruction, obviously through our observational feedback, our coaching cycles. Every teacher is implementing that small group instruction that Ms. Seymour and her team talked about. We have ongoing small group instruction professional development implemented. And we also are providing interventions for our lowest 20th percentile, as well as continue with our ongoing professional development for teachers for those higher level thinking questions. As soon as I just want to take you back to what happened during the summer when scores were coming out. As soon as the preliminary scores were coming out and I saw that we were possibly dipping into the below average rating, I immediately scheduled a meeting with my leadership team and created a plan of action. You find that in your folder. It's titled the 2024-25 implementation process, and it covers areas that we knew needed to be addressed for our main concerns. One of those is obviously our new ELA standards for the year was to rework our grade level planning sessions. Grade level planning has gone through a mindset shift this year, and after surveying the teachers, it was easy to conclude that planning was not conducive for our teachers or our students. So in the past, grade level planning was a process where teachers planned a subject in isolation. They came together and then they pretty much read those plans aloud to the team. We knew that we had to have collaboration. That was going to be key for our teachers as well as benefiting our students. So our grade level planning went to a 2-day model where we get together on Monday with our teachers to focus on ELA. We use backwards design where our teachers are looking at the strategies and the skills that need to be taught. And we are looking at the tests that they're going to be taking, that the students are going to be taking, and going through to make sure that we are using the correct language to enhance the learning for our students. Making sure that language is across the board. Math vocabulary, we know vocabulary is so important for our students. The math vocabulary, ELA vocabulary, we really are focusing in on that to help our students. We do the same thing with math on Tuesdays. Our team comes together and they collaborate through a note catcher. We're discussing, we have rich discussions and really dive deep into the standards to make sure that we are covering the standards and we are doing it at the rigor needed. And so our teachers are really having fabulous discussions and they are then creating plans collaboratively. So just wanted to go through that with you to let you know. There's several other issues or items that I have in that plan, but those are there for you to read. I know we're under a time constraint, so you can read those later. I do want to recognize that our goal is for second grade, and we think it's critical to support our second grade teachers so that they are adding to that third grade level. Testing does start at third grade, but it starts from K up, just preparing them for that. So we really wanted a focus to keep that forefront in the minds of everyone on our campus.
Our second goal is that we would decrease the third through fifth grade students scoring does not meet for ELA as projected from 41.1% to 30% on SE Ready, according to math. In this, we're using PLCs that are focused on content knowledge so that we can strengthen our tier 1 instruction. We're also using our reading interventionists that are going to provide intervention for those lowest 20th percentile students. And then lastly, we are providing small group reading instruction for every teacher and every classroom so that those students can be identified based on the needs that they have and those will be addressed in the classroom. In addition to this, we're also doing a study of standards initiative that we are currently trying to get the state to approve to use Title I funds so that our teachers can work together to examine the new standards, and they will receive a stipend in order for their time and their commitment as an incentive in order for them to dig into those standards. With us having the new introduction of the ELA standards and then with math coming as well, we know that that is an area of need that could be very valuable to our teachers and our students. And so that is an area that we're trying to collaborate to continue to grow these teachers so that we can grow our students.
And we're doing this after school. This is an
Yes.
initiative for after school so that our teachers can really dig in. 45 minutes of planning is not a lot of time, so we want to reward our teachers or give a stipend to our teachers for staying and digging in. Our third goal is for 60% of our 4th and 5th grade students to meet or exceed their ABT in math on the 24-25 SC Ready assessment. And in order to achieve this goal, we have outlined some key strategies. Our teachers are participating, our 4th and 5th grade teachers are participating in PD with Mary Ruska, focusing on areas of weakness according to the assessments. And so she is helping our teachers make sure that they are, again, using that key language, math language with our students and equipping them with targeted strategies to support that student growth. Where additionally, professional development is going to continue to enhance and emphasize that vocabulary with all of our students, obviously including our NOLs. We're also implementing the Let's Talk Math program, which promotes math talks. We have in the past used number talks, and this is somewhat like that, but it is going a little deeper for our 4th and 5th grade. Our 5th grade is piloting that right now, and so it is encouraging our students to really discuss the math, not just try to get the answer. And so that is helping to foster that deeper understanding of the mathematical concepts. And then lastly, we are analyzing with our teachers the math conditional growth percentiles as compared to the required ABT and determine appropriate strategies for those students. I know that you all have been in at least a day-long training about ABT and MAT, so I will not go into that. But if you do have questions later, feel free to ask. Our next slide.
So, for our MLL students, Ms. Meadows is coming in to work closely with our teachers and address the unique needs of all of our MLL students. She conducted professional development focused on understanding the academic needs of MLL students, providing appropriate accommodations, which we saw that our teachers were able to provide to all students as well. This training includes specialized teaching strategies designed to target the specific challenges with an emphasis on multisensory vocabulary instruction. Through her ongoing support, she is equipping our teachers with the tools they need to effectively engage and support our MLL students. We are also working to build teacher clarity and enhance instructional effectiveness. Coaching cycles are being conducted based on observational data, and that's including co-teaching and modeling to provide on-the-spot coaching and support. We also use professional development sessions and PLCs to help our teachers implement the backwards design model for Tier 1 instruction. We are committed as well to providing intentional small group instruction to meet all the needs of our students. We use multiple data points, including the standards mastery checklist, to guide that targeted small group instruction and intervention. And that helps us to address all the specific learning gaps for our students.
It goes on having their lives. In closing, Superintendent Kelly and members of the board, I know that our time is over, so I do want to reiterate our unwavering commitment to our students at New Prospect. I appreciate everything you are doing for us and supporting us. Again, like the others have said, if you want to come in and see what is happening in our hallways and in our classrooms, we would love to have you. So thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And teachers, we appreciate you.
We know the work you do every day in and out, and I just want you to know, we do appreciate everything you do. And Ms. Shady, you and your team, you are doing a phenomenal job looking at the deficiencies and creating a plan to do that. So do y'all have any questions?
I got a couple comments. Tripp, you got anything before I go?
Just a general comment. I know a lot of the folks that have presented, the instructional teams are fabulous. These data plans are very thorough. My biggest concern in this business is always unintended consequences, and you know that. So all the things that you're doing is going to require data. It's going to require feedback from your teachers. Just they're the ones that's going to make us successful, what they do in the classroom. So having to pull all of that takes away 2 days of planning for math and for reading, and then 3 days left. It's 45 minutes is just not enough. So I say that to say, find balance for your teachers, because they're the ones that's where the rubber meets the road. I do have one question for New Prospect, because Centerville mentioned a lot about interventionists. How many total do y'all have, Jennifer? 7. Okay. How about New Prospect?
We have 5.
5. Okay. Could you use more people?
Absolutely.
I don't have them in my pocket, but we have a budget. We have a budget process coming up. So, could you use more personnel?
Yes.
How many do you have written in your Title I plan, Ms. Shady?
I have 2, 3 in my title.
Okay.
How many teachers do you have altogether?
31.
31. And 17 of those were first year?
11 are first year, 16 are new to New Prospect. Sorry.
No, that's
It's
okay.
okay.
Any other?
I have some comments just for everybody that presented. I like how you all owned everything and didn't make a bunch of excuses about it. I also wanted to tell you that as a teacher's kid, my mother taught in Anderson 5 for many years. I know that report cards and testing don't tell the whole story. I know that's the case. I want you to know you're not on an island all by yourself. We have other schools that have dropped their rating that, we're paying attention to those too. I know you don't control all the factors that go into these ratings. I think you're gonna hear the community wear us out over these ratings. It may even happen tonight. I want you all to understand from a board standpoint is that we take the brunt of that. And I don't look at y'all blaming you. I see us as a team. And I know that takes work, especially with new people, to build that, but you're not out on an island by yourself. And I also want to make it clear that District 5 doesn't accept poor report card ratings. So I appreciate all your time, and I'm sorry you were under time pressure for this presentation.
And Miss Shady, I will be out there to see you.
Anything else? No? Okay, you can adjourn.
Okay. If there's no other business, we'll adjourn.
Can I see y'all in the kitchen? Sure. Can I see y'all in the kitchen?
I was just barely collecting. What's it doing when you came in?
I mean, it's on the road.
Yeah.